Worries about terror attacks at the Olympics seem to be melting, along with the snow. So far, warm weather seems to be the biggest threat to the Winter Games. The Olympics are being seen as President Putin's show, or rather, his showing off of modern Russia. So there's a lot more riding on these games than just medals. That's why the dramatic win by the U.S. hockey team over the Russians can be viewed as an event that may transcend athletic achievements. Well, sports analyst Mike Bako is here to talk about the action and the reaction. Welcome.
Good to be with you.
Well, I got to tell you, this was, I'm not a big hockey fan, but this was a very, very exciting game. It almost brought me back to thinking about Lake Placid, Michael Ruziani with the flags wrapped around him.
Absolutely.
But the thing about this was, this is not a final blow for Russia.
Absolutely not.
At all. Talk about the game.
The game was, as you mentioned, exciting, transcending for non-hockey fans. I'm sure that there were probably text messages and phone calls, hey, you got to watch this game. Probably the rank and file American that enjoys the Olympics was probably not in front of their TV. But when it's a 2-2 game, when it's going into a shootout, when the U.S. has a chance to win against Russia, in Russia, on Russian soil, that's when everyone gets involved. That's when the U.S. spirit gets involved.
You know, this game was very interesting. If you watched you watched it live or even recorded, Russian TV had cutaways of Vladimir Putin, but they never showed his reaction after that shootout.
They did not. They showed the reaction after the goal to make it 2-2. They showed his reaction after what was thought to be a game-winning goal, but they did not cut back to him during that shootout. I wouldn't put this quite on the level of a total embarrassment, but with everything that's been going on in Sochi, snow melting, 60-degree temperatures, it's another chink in the armor of these games. They're the Sochi games, but they're really Putin's games. He's the one he's really putting his stamp on these games.
I got to tell you, apparently viewership has been down for these games, and I wonder why. But normally when I watch the Winter Olympics, I kind of turn it off because I usually focus on figure skating, which is very boring to me. I mean, it's just me, of course. Right. But they're focusing on the biathlon, you know, the alpine skiing, downhill, all these things. Right. But yet and still attendance is down. Explain.
Well, it's really just, you know, when you think about what the American audience wants to see, they want to see Americans win. So that's one of the reasons why the Summer Olympics is obviously rated so much higher than the Winter Olympics, because that's not our forte. We rally around American athletes that are able to succeed. If the U.S. is playing in a gold medal hockey game, as they did a few years ago against Canada, everyone will be watching it. That'll be a big point of focus. But when we're not in the top of the downhill skiers, when we don't have someone like a name brand like Lindsey Vonn skiing, then that's when the audience takes a step back and says, show me what you got, America.
But you've got Julia Mancuso. I mean,
you do have some names that people will know, but the Olympics are one of those things that you have to win, and then you become a name brand. You don't really go into the Olympics as a name brand.
Okay, the Winter Olympics end, I think, around the 23rd of the month. What can we see in terms of medal count? Who will be the big winners or losers here in this Olympics?
Well, I think the U.S. will be right in the middle. It really depends what happens in terms of figure skating. Are they able to break through there? Obviously, the Russians have a stranglehold on that. You look at Sweden and Canada. They're certainly having a good showing. So it really depends what happens in these next few days in terms of people qualifying and where the Americans will medal. I think they'll be right in the middle, but I think you have to look at a nation like Canada that's right at the top right now, and they're probably going to continue.
Well, everybody will be watching, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Mike Bako, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty.